Welcome back to Connection Point Studies. I'm glad you're here. We're in this series called Subtle Influence. We've been talking about this whole subtle influence of the Northwest culture. And our hope is that you look at the Sermon on the Mount and allow the Sermon on the Mount to allow some subtle influence in your life. And hopefully it's digging into your soul and helping you grow a little bit. I have Jason with me. Jason's helped me write this. He's in the second year of his internship and has been really growing and developing. We're praying that God will continue to work some good stuff in your
Praying
life.
earnestly.
Yeah, which will be great. That'd be awesome. So let's get started today. A lot of the groups have been meeting for quite a while, and they're ready for this warm-up question, which means everybody in the group shares. Let's give them that question.
Yeah, first question is, if you could be any animal, what would you choose to be?
Okay, now we have to explain why we're doing this
I
question.
guess, right?
Yes, yeah. If you could be any animal. The reason we picked this one is because we
Sea
thought
lion.
there's a lot of Northwest people that believe in reincarnation. And we've seen them to where you can't kill any animal or anything because they believe you're going to come back as an animal. So we thought it would be kind of fun if you had to come back as an animal, any animal, whatever it
Yeah.
was. Why not pick one and figure it out, and we'll talk about it. So have a little bit of fun. What kind of animal would you become if you had to come back as one? And before you come back, why don't you read Matthew 6:19 through 34. Interesting. I let me have you guess. What do you think was the most popular animal that people came back as?
I'm either going to say a tiger or a cheetah.
No, dog.
Dog?
Oh yeah. If you're going to be in the Northwest,
Oh, yeah, if you live in the Northwest.
I want to tell you what. I want to
sweet life of
be
a
a dog because the
Okay.
dog has it made, man. You're a dog in the Northwest. You got it made. Your life's good.
Right.
It's a cool thing. Well, hopefully you had some fun with that. But as you dug into the scripture a little bit, we want you to think about the Sermon on the Mount, which is a little different than the Northwest culture. And it teaches us very different. So we're talking about the kingdom of heaven a little bit. So let's give them this question.
Right, so the first question is, what eternal treasures can you store up in heaven? And where do you have more treasure, on heaven or on earth?
Okay. So Jesus gives us some pretty specific answers here, and hopefully they pick these out of here. That we're not really supposed to be emphasizing the things that we have on earth, but more things in heaven. Now, you ask an interesting application part of this question is, where do you have more things, in heaven or on earth? So here's the question I think people probably out here are struggling with. What are things in heaven that we can put there? What would
Yeah.
you say some things in heaven we can put
You know,
there?
I think in all of our work as Christians, because Christians are supposed to be going out and making more disciples and going out in this world and changing the world. So I think a huge part of the treasures in heaven are the different people that we'll see there, that the different people we impact and just the
I like that. I do believe
relationships.
that. I think that the more people that we find in heaven because of the influence that God uses us for, that's a huge treasure in heaven. What about character?
I think character will play a huge role into it too, of saying that, you push through all the bad things in life and as Paul says, you fought the good fight, you
Okay,
finish strong.
so Jason, as we live our lives and we're building our character, we may not be able to take our money and our houses and our cars, but we take our character to heaven with us, right? As at least the good part of our
Yeah,
character,
hopefully,
right?
hopefully just the good part.
the good part of our character as we go. Okay, let's dig a little bit deeper and have him ask another question.
So the next question is, what does Jesus mean by your eye being a lamp? And how good are your spiritual eyes?
So Jesus says, your eye's a lamp that provides light for your body. When your eye's good, your whole body's filled with light. What do you think that means?
I think it has just this concept of where your eyes go is where you end up going. That when you look to God and you look to righteous things, that's where you end up going. And so when your eye is fixed on God, your whole body is going to be filled with God. Your whole life will be filled with God.
I would agree that this is talking about spiritual eyes, isn't it? I mean, we asked the question, how are your spiritual eyes?
Mhm.
Because I kind of think some people's spiritual eyes are pretty dark. Their eyes are not good, and they can't see things through spiritual eyes. And I think Jesus is really talking about this lamp to our soul. And there's the spiritual eyes that I think we need a checkup every once in a while to see whether we're seeing. You know what helps me, Jason? I think when I look at tough situations, and if I can figure out how to look at tough situations, I look at the situations through the eyes of God. Some amazing stuff happens. Some really, really good stuff happens. So I encourage you to, I encourage all of you to maybe have a spiritual eye checkup. That would be a great thing to do. Okay, let's go to the next question here.
Our next question is, what do Jesus' teachings tell us about dealing with stress?
There's a really good song out there called "Don't Worry, Be Happy." Have you ever heard that one?
Yep.
The old Jamaican song, "Don't Worry, Be Happy." That's kind of what it sounds like here, right? I tell you not to worry about everyday life, whether you have enough food or drink, all that. In our culture today, there's a lot of stress.
Yeah, I think people would call Jesus crazy because people have all their 401k plans. They have all these different ideas of how to prepare themselves. When Jesus just says, guys, just take it easy.
Okay, now, Jason, you're a single guy. You don't have any kids. You don't have a wife to take care of. You don't all that. People will look at you and say, your life has no
Fabulous.
stress in it.
I
right?
agree. Well, it's
Whatsoever.
pretty stress-free compared to some other lives.
Yeah. Now, you have stress because you're in college.
Mm-hmm.
And you have stress because you're trying to get a master's degree.
Mm-hmm.
How many college credits are you taking?
The next 4 months, I'm taking 28.
28.
So next quarter, I'm doing 28.
Okay, so that's like double the normal.
Yeah.
So you're going to have some incredible stress in your life. The truth is that all of us have stress in our life because of what we allow that stress to be in our life. And I think Jesus is calling us out on that we do have a choice in how we handle the things in our life. And I love his teaching here. Don't allow worries to dominate your life, and don't allow them to eat up your life. And a lot of people, that's exactly what happens in their life. So let's go to the next question here.
Yeah, for our application question.
Okay.
So application questions. Everyone has to around the table discuss about what you can do to apply to your life. A little more deeper meaning. I thought would be a good application question would be, how are you going to deal with the stressors in your life, or the things that stress you? How can you get rid of them? How do you let go of the stress in your life?
And this is a chance for everybody to talk, and it's a good thing to be honest about the worries of your life and all of that. And you know what I like about a small group? Sometimes just sharing that burden with everyone else in the group, you won't feel so all alone, and you'll be able to let go of some of that worry. Take a little bit of time, share your stresses, and pray for each other, and we'll see you next week at Connection Point Studies.